I remember the exact moment my life fractured. My father's hand slammed against the kitchen table, rattling the dishes. "You're no daughter of mine," he roared, spittle flying. My mother's voice cut sharper than glass. "Get out! You've disgraced us!" I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I walked out the door, clutching a small bag and the life inside me. The first year was the hardest. Nights blurred into days, feeding, cleaning, juggling work and school. I remember staring at my son's tiny face in the dim light, and for the first time feeling a kind of pure love that terrified and grounded me at once. I realized that the family I had lost, the one that had spat me out, wasn't worth mourning, not anymore. But I remembered them. Every insult, every cold dismissal. Every Christmas I spent alone, every birthday my parents ignored. I was young, scared, and broke, but I had one weapon they could never take: my silence. I let them forget me. I let them think I had disappeared. And I planned. It began quietly. I applied for every scholarship, every job I could scrape together. I moved cities, changed numbers, cut off traces. I learned how to stretch pennies into survival, how to sleep with one eye open, how to protect my son from the sting of their absence. I built a life so full, so strong, that there was no room for them. Then came the whispers. Mutual acquaintances began dropping hints. "Your parents have been asking, are you still around?" My stomach twisted. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Another part, the darker, smarter part, saw the perfect opportunity. I found their weakness, their pride. They had built their lives on appearances, on the idea that nothing could stain their name. I decided to let the truth walk in like a storm. It took months. I quietly applied for legal name changes, traced family wealth, and secured my own business credentials. I never bragged, never asked for recognition. I waited. Patience became my weapon. And then, 5 years later, they came. My son had grown into a boy with a spark in his eyes, the same defiance I had once held. I hadn't told him who they were. He didn't need to know. I opened the door to find them standing on my porch. My father's tie was crooked, his hair thinner. My mother's lips pressed tight. Their eyes scanned the modest home, the small garden, the bicycle leaning against the wall, and then they saw him. He ran to the door, grinning. "Look, Mommy, I can ride without training wheels!" Their expressions froze. My father's jaw slackened. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. What is this?" my father whispered, disbelief cracking the edge of his voice. I smiled. Calm, unshaken. "This," I said, tilting my head toward the boy who was the living proof of my strength, "is the daughter you disowned, and the son you refused to acknowledge." The pause stretched. Their eyes darted between us, trying to read the script of their own arrogance unraveling. I could see it. The calculation of control collapsing, replaced with helplessness. The power they had wielded over me for years was gone, completely. I let them stew. Let them realize that no amount of money, no apology, no regret could undo the life I had built. I had given my son everything: love, security, pride, something they had never been able to offer. When they finally left, defeated without confrontation, I closed the door behind them. My son ran into the kitchen, laughing, spilling crumbs from his snack. I watched him, chest tight with relief and satisfaction. I didn't cry. Not for them, not anymore. I had risen from the ashes they thought they'd left me in. I had transformed betrayal into power, contempt into a life fully my own. I had mastered patience, calculation, and finally, justice. And as I watched my son stack his blocks, I whispered quietly to myself, not with anger, but with triumph, "They'll never forget this. But neither will I, and I didn't have to stoop to their level to win."